Praise God, folks. This is Old Truth Speaker again, with a little bit more, with some more very important news. Well, this one is called Dr. Manning calls Al Sharpton a rat. And I like to get your views. What is your opinion of Al Sharpton? Now, all right, I'll just put it this way. He has been called Obama's go-to man, and that he's actually backed by, I don't want to say left wing, special groups to control African Americans. Now, I like to know that as soon as something happened, he's a publicity seeker. He got his own nightly show, Politics Nation, whatever you call it, but anyway. I just like to have your opinion. Now, true, ever since we know Tawana Brawley, we just go back and forth every time you march. He's right in the middle of it. I mean, it doesn't look like he's trying to calm the situation down, but that he heats the situation up. And now he's been chased out of Ferguson. They don't want anything else to do with it. He gave a courtroom meeting, a town hall meeting, in Chicago, and it erupted violently. So he know him or Jesse Jackson is not wanted back there. But see, there's a significant difference between Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. See, Jackson had boots on the ground. Jackson walked with Dr. King. Jackson he's been there and did that. He's put the time in. Now, I'm not talking about now, and this is not about Reverend Jackson. This is about Reverend Sharpton. He doesn't own a church. Every time it's true that there's an event, he's standing up for homosexuals and he's standing up for immigrants, and I'm not about anybody. And he's not standing up, but all he's doing is race baiting. This is what he's been, accused of. That he's not seeing or looking out for the welfare or the benefit of African Americans, but his own. And he's only looking out for his own pockets. And remember, I've made a previous video where he is, him and this certain network are actually being sued. That he's actually hindering black media groups from being, from being sponsored by another major outlet. But that's not about that, and I won't mention that. But I just want to know your views. Let me tell you something. We have been marching for 50 years. This is not the 1960s. We can't blame the white man for everything. Do you understand that? We don't want Jesus in our life. You don't see Chinese out there marching, do you? You don't see the American Indians out there marching, do you? You don't see any Asians or East Indians out there marching. We're the only ones out there marching. And they look as though, and President Obama, he is actually President Obama's boy. President Obama can do nothing wrong in Al Sharpton's sight. Do you understand that? As soon as something happened, he flies his behind out there, and he doesn't even know. And a lot of families like Eric Garner, you can see what they're talking about. And one, I'm not going to mention that here, they don't even want him anywhere near the family. They say, stay the hell out of the way. Just stay a publicity seeker. All he does is try to, all he is sent out to is to control the black population. That's what he's being accused of now. I want to know what your opinion is. Or should we blame the white man for that also? How can you be a reverend without a church? Have you ever noticed something? Everywhere where Al Sharpton marched, nothing has turned out good. Do you understand that? The only way to make a significant difference is through money. You have to have economic power. You have to have your own businesses. As long as, like Malcolm X said, as long as you're going begging for jobs and justice, you will always be in the same predicament. And now black men as a whole are only 6% of the population. We're dying like flies. We're shooting each other down like animals, and then we're blaming the white man for it. And then you got leaders like this Al Sharpton. Do anybody ever buy? I'm talking about a certain segment of society now. Have you ever watched Al Sharpton? Hmm? Just see, I don't care what, and somebody brought it to my attention. When President Obama walked across that bridge to Selma, I didn't know there were that many different ethnic groups that were offended. What did he do? He gave a shout out to the homosexual group. And I was asked today, did Dr. King march across the bridge of Selma for the right and justice for African Americans or for the homosexual community? Now, I don't hate anybody, but he brought out a valid point. You're still being shot down all over the place. Do you understand that? We are not feeding and clothing ourselves. Do you know it has been said by David Cowell that we, the African American, especially the black man, is a joke to all civilization. And it's right too. As long as we keep begging, as long as we keep begging for jobs and justice, we'll always be in the same position. We have not improved in over 150 years. And you got these people like Al Sharpton who are just riding the waves just for publicity and to be Obama's front man to control black people because they know one thing. Black people will not open a book and read, especially black men. Will always be led by the nose, so to speak. I'm not going to say the other thing. So I'd like you to leave an answer. What do you think about Al Sharpton? Has he been a hindrance or a help? Really? Is Dr. James David Manning right? That he's nothing more than a race baiter? That he causes more problems than he's actually helped? One thing I have to say, we have to pray for our nation, pray for our people, pray for all groups, because America is the proverbial house divided, and we know that a house divided will not stand. Pray, folks, because we really need it. God bless you, saints.